Good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you are. Good evening. Welcome back to VP4TV. We're here this afternoon, coming up to 2 p.m. in the afternoon, British summertime, and we have a third round match in this year's 2025 Virtual 9-Ball World Championship. It is Acero from Japan up against Spectredawn, represent the United Kingdom, and the race to 19. Now, we can see this is a match that's coming up today. Tomorrow night we have a match with Cobra and Brainful, and there's an additional match on the schedule now. Demon having been advanced yesterday when Popman didn't show up. Larry's now got that match set, and that's going ahead on Saturday at 6 p.m. And then, of course, you've still got the Slim match on the Sunday, 1 p.m. in the afternoon against Coldest Pillow. We had the match last night with MC Clarkey and Stubb, and Matt won it in the end. He sort of held it together at the end, good enough to win it, and Stubb, of course, bailed out before the end again, so should be due another fine. Matt is through and waiting on the winner of this match, and that is basically where we stand. So all now we need is the players. Now, Spectredawn is around and about. He was in getting some practice. He's just sitting in the chat, and we're waiting on Acero showing up. And again, cutting it fine. We're down to the last minute and a half for this room going up. And let's hope he shows. He generally does show up at the last minute. But also, one thing to remind ourselves of is, if we look at this path to round 3, we had Acero, who ended up with Brainful out forfeiting because I don't think they could get a time or whatever. Then we had that final rack decider win against Bedhead in round 2, which has led him to here. Spectredawn, Mr. Fox in the last round, quite comfortably 19-7. And I think Spectredawn got a bye in the first round. Yes, he did. So that is where we are. Room's still not up. And as far as I could see, Acero still not here. The room is now up. Well, again, I keep saying it's a shame to get this far and then end up forfeiting. So he's not here yet. It is just going 10 p.m. down his part of the world. And we still wait. This always gets me worried. Good afternoon to Miasma. Yeah, this gets me a bit more worried. The room is up. Spectredawn's still not going in it. Spectredawn played Acero in a 9-ball tournament yesterday and beat him 7-3. I don't know whether that's got any bearing on it, but he's still not here. 1 minute has gone. 9 minutes till the timeout. Good afternoon to Vince says. Welcome to Spectre. What do you call again? What's your name again, Bedhead? Right, Acero is here. That's the good news. So we do have a match on. Let's get in. And we've got Spectredawn on the right. Race to 19, no jump cues, you know the rules. So Bedhead, no doubt, will be rooting for Acero. Spectredawn has won the lag. Well, he's lining up this time with that pillar. That's where he's lining up. So we find out where his line is. He's lining up with the edge of the grey pillar, or whatever the hell it is. It is a pillar. And, well, successful, because he's got a couple of balls. He won't be able to get the 3 unless he banks it, or unless he starts running and bumping things. He's sitting on the 2, but 3 ball is inaccessible for the pot. He's trying to get the break, and he's got the break. He's going to have to try another one here, I think. If he tries to chip to the 9 ball, he might get lucky, unless he's going to go up table and play a combo, because that 4 ball is hidden away. Bit of right English. Well, he actually got the right English too good. Too good in effect. He wanted a bit less than that, and he's now blocked out. Well, the 9 ball isn't set as a combo, but I'm always for just giving these a good hammer and try your luck. But Spectredawn uses a more measured approach and has left it pretty safe. I don't know that Acero can get enough of that to try and bank it. He certainly cannot. Couple of calls for 1914. Bedhead says 1914 to Spectredawn. And Miasma goes the opposite route. That looks a better one. Yeah, that's pretty good. There's a very thin edge on this showing. Barely a thin edge on it, but he's got enough of it to pot it, but the cue ball's gone, because the cue ball's running loose. So Acero playing the aggressive shot, and he's going to pay the price for the mistake. Good morning to Run Out Rob. Well, Steve came into the lobby about 45 minutes ago. He said he wasn't going to be here for the stream, but he is up and about. So it's, what time is it over there? Like 9 a.m. East Coast, something around that. But it's going to be first blood to Spectredawn from the Acero unforced error. Well, Steve's East Coast, so that's 5 hours behind us. So this is what, 2:05 in the day, so it's 9:05 East Coast. That's 6:05 on the Los Angeles side. They're 7 hours behind us, and Acero is 8 hours in front of us here, so it's 10 p.m. at night where he is. Big time zone difference. Yeah, that was an awkward shot there, stroking down over that 7 ball. And that little nudge by the 1 ball, I don't think it's done any major damage. You can still get at the 2, I think. Oh, maybe not so much now. Maybe not so much now, can he? That might catch the knuckle. No, it went in clean. Well, same old repetitive statement. The balls are there. You've got to get out. This point in the tournament, when you're deeper into the tournament in round 3, you have to be taking every opportunity like this. You can't fail. Your prospects are never good if you're failing with these tables. And this is no guarantee it's going to be ideal. He's got to work the cue ball a wee bit here. Well, he's got the spin working. He had the pace under control, and the spin did the rest of it, firing it off that short rail up top and around the angles. That was well done. Good afternoon to Albinario. 1915 to Spectredawn is a prediction. Welcome to Coldest Pillow. You know what I had for lunch? I had chili and rice. So a light lunch. Well, Acero's break gave him a ball, but the cut in the one didn't go in. And again, the 2 ball goes, so there isn't a problem in the table. So you expect the inevitable result. And the only way it'll fail is the cue ball going somewhere it shouldn't. Yes, I do. I'm quite past the chili. I absolutely love garlic, and I love mushrooms. Who doesn't, as far as I'm concerned? I love mushrooms. So this should just be a little potting exercise for Spectredawn. Right, see you later. You can always catch up with any of the live streams on the playlist. Well, that's a good idea, Coldest Pillow, but I don't have enough subscribers and funds coming in to actually afford to go and do something like that, and also have the right equipment to do it as well. Yeah, so your idea was a good idea, but it wasn't very well thought through. Because you need obviously to have a decent camera, and you need to have funds to get yourself from A to B. And also, the other thing is, I need to give up my job and have enough subscribers to be able to go full time and do that. So that ain't happening. We'll knock that one in the head before it gets anywhere near off the ground. But anyway, Spectredawn has the lead. Again, lining up with the pillar. And we'll see how successful this break is. He got a couple of balls the first time round. He's got no joy here. Now the 1 ball clearly goes. The 2 balls the issue. 2 ball blocked by the 6. And I've got the hiccups again because I had a drink of water. So he's going to play the long combo here. He's not ideal on it. I mean, it's still a fair set of odds that it's going to go in. Yeah, played it well. Well, I'll say this right now. Acero isn't struggling with the table. You know, he's not he's not looking to me like a guy that's trying to warm up and find his feet. He looks as if he's already found that, and Spectredawn should be wary of that. He's hit the ground running here, Acero. I might jinx him by saying that, but he's got pretty good pace control here. Because at the end of the day, moving the cue ball is all about that, controlling that pace. This is a wee bit more work to do. Depends what the angle is. So the angle was perfect. I thought he was too straight. So tit for tat here. Well, we have a long way to go, but you know, one of these players, as always, is looking for that little bit of daylight if they can get it, and it gives them the chance to try and maybe build on something. And Acero's going to have first opportunity here. Couple of balls going in, 2 and 7 balls going in, sitting in a 1, 3 ball easily accessible, as is the rest of them. So again, you have just simply got to get these out. These are terrible racks to mess up, considering there's nothing to do but move the cue ball. Now he's checking this up to avoid anywhere near the 8 ball. That's the idea of that. He's just actually, he's checked it so much and hasn't. I mean, you always expect that to kill the pace a bit more, but now he's going to have to rely on the bank, I think. Nailed it, no problem. Cue ball brushes the 8. 8 off the rail, everything's good. So, like the mini crisis there, where he had to take the bank, he didn't and ah about it and think about it and think how unlucky am I to have done that. He just went down and played it, got on with it. Pretty simple bank anyway, the way it was sitting. And he has the lead. And the 8 ball went to the short rail, come back out. 9 ball was, or the 1 ball was coming down that way, bumps it and goes in. And now the 1 ball sitting there. Acero, once again, this table, you're looking at getting on the 2 and a fairly straight in the 2 if you can. You don't want to be having too much angle and having to go sort of round the houses to get there. Now, see, this is a problem. He's checking this again big time just to come out. Judged it reasonably well, and he's lucky he doesn't have to do much to get on the 4. I'm sure Spectredawn watching this is getting a similar impression that this guy is meaning business here. He's hit that a bit too much. This is a wee bit trickier again. But again, he's not trying to do acrobatics. He's taking what he's got, taking the lay of the balls, rolling it in, roll the 6 in, leave some sort of angle to come up past either side pocket here and not scratch, and leave yourself that fairly straight in 9 ball if you can. He's watching to get to that sort of dodgy area. And this is the dodgy area. I don't care who you are, they're dodgy. You catch a wee chip of the knuckle, it ain't going in. But again, never a doubt, didn't look at it twice, right in the centre of the pocket. And there is daylight. And there's that line of the ball straight away, and the 8 ball's going in anyway. I'm pretty certain the 4 ball goes into the side. We'll have a quick look at that. The 1 ball's going nowhere, although he can put Spectredawn in trouble here. Let's have a look at this 4. I wouldn't play it into the corner. It's very touch and go, but in fact, it's very touch and go into the side. That might be right on the brink of going either way. But he's played a little combo. How's the little brush in the one? He's not getting it. Now what does he do? I mean, yes, he could play the combo, but that 4 ball is hard to decide where exactly it's going. It is right on the sort of curve of that 9 ball, and you can't tell whether it's going either way. But that's the least of the worries at the moment. Acero's missed the combo. It wasn't easy. Spectredawn can cut the 1, and he's more than likely going to be bumping that 9 and 8 anyway. He just wants to nudge that 9 and just hold there. This is dead weight as far as I can see, just dead weight, because you don't want that cue ball just to run on top of the 3. And he's fine. And important that Spectredawn lets Acero know that he'll deal with the table if Acero leaves him those opportunities. So this is a make or break shot, get down onto the 6. I mean, I would be maybe playing a bit of bottom in this and sort of drawing it to the short rail to get it tight around the corner and take the scratch out of the equation in this bottom left-hand corner. See, he's going wider, but he's going wide enough to go around the table like that. So that was a choice. You could go tighter around the corner or wider, and he's fine. Well, have we actually seen a missed pot yet? I mean, I'm not counting them, but I don't recall that many. Oh, yes, we've had an attempted combo that didn't go in, but I'm talking about a straight-in pot or anything so far. So, Spectredawn sticking to the format, lining up with the pillar on the right-hand side, trailing by 1. 1 ball goes into the left side. That's the objective, trying to get that 1 ball on the side. Anything else is a bonus. 1 ball and the 6 is gone, but no shot in the 2. And once again, it looks like a 2-ball rack, but there is a slight problem with that 7 ball. A slight problem with the 4 ball as well, considering where the 3 ball is. It's as if you'd try and pot the 3 in the side and go up towards the 9 ball to play the 4 ball. So we'll see how that works out. Welcome to. Is that not Portuguese? That Billiard 247? I think that's Portuguese. Could be Brazilian. Welcome. Welcome to Lard. Good afternoon. Well, we might have a match on here. Well, I'm pretty certain we have got a match on here now. The push out was played. The push was passed back to Spectredawn, and he's gone all out for the combo. That was a big ask. Now, what does Acero do here? Does that 2-ball bank? Yes, it does bank, but he's maybe playing the billiard from the 2 onto the 5 here. That 2-ball could go safe, and he could hook himself if he does that. No, he did go for the bank. Just enough room to play it. That was well done. Now, here's the problem, but I think he might have the angle to stun up towards the 9 ball and play the 4 on the side. Because that was what I was looking at earlier on in the rack. I'm not sure that he's quite got there. Yeah, I mean, he would have maybe liked a wee bit straighter, but he's still okay. Oh, he's overdone it, though. There you go. That's what happens. He could have done with getting a wee bit straighter. Now, that's one that's got away, and that is a miss by acero. And it's definitely going to be all square. Or is it? Where's this 4-ball finished? Now that we look at things, it's not quite as cut and dried as I thought it was going to be, but does he go off the top rail? Is he trying to really blast this thin? He's got it thin. Where's the cue ball going? He's going to get a nudge, or is he going to hook himself? Oh, dear. Now, he certainly can't see all of the 5, and I doubt that he can see enough of that to pot it. He's maybe going to have to go rail first, and he's played that well, but again, relying on luck to give any shot in the 7. Banks are open, though. Well, this might be the best time of day to do some live streams for these tournaments. We've got two new followers. Welcome to Mark. So it's very likely we're a tied ball game again. Acero had that 2-rack lead, but that's dwindled and gone. So for any latecomers, this is a round 3 match in this year's 2025 Virtual 9-Ball World Championships. Race to 19. Spectredawn breaking in rack number 9. Trying to return the favour to acero, trying to get that follow-up rack. 1 ball tried to go into the side. Again, it fell short on the top side of the pocket, and it's dry, but it's safe. Now, there's a shot on here, but there's traffic in the way. Acero can try and go behind the 2. In fact, he's using the 2, or at least that's what he was trying to do. I thought he might have been trying to run this and tuck that 1 ball in there and go around the corner and up the table. But as I said, there's traffic in the way there. And, well, Spectredawn would have liked that to come out better. He might be in trouble now. Well, not a difficult hit. Not a difficult hit, but Spectredawn found it difficult. So ball in hand for acero. And there is a problem here. The problem's the 3-ball. That is fairly inaccessible, really. 4 balls in the way there. If you were trying to tuck a cue ball in here somewhere, he might have to bump something here. I don't think then he has done it, and I don't think that that's worked out too good. Yes, he's on the 2, but how's the 3? The 3 does go, but again, he's got to go over there, though. And he's given himself a shot at it. He's got to watch he doesn't overcut this, because this could take a chip of the 8-ball. I think he's okay, though, looking at it. Yeah, well done. And the angle is good on the 5-ball. Just go to the rail, or he can stun it. Whatever he wants to do. You can run forward and out. But he wants to run forward and out in such a way that he can drop himself onto this 7-ball. Because, again, it's awkward where it's sitting. Now, that isn't ideal. He's not gone far enough. He might have to just take his medicine. He can put a bit of left English on this, come across and play the bank. I mean, he's looking around. I don't know that any other options are great, but as far as I'm concerned, you get yourself across here, you play the bank. No, he's He obviously wants to try and drop this into the side. Well, he's already missed one dodgy cut into the side. And this is just as dodgy. Very, very tight. To me, I think the bank was easier than this. It was easier to get to the position of the bank than this. And this time, though, he's gone in off the jaw. And that is a good out, because there was a problem situation there and they dealt with them all. Back in front. Welcome to Hazard. Good afternoon. Now, did anything go there? I think something's missing, if my eyes aren't deceiving me. The 2-ball has gone. Oh, and there's a little gap. As John Virgo says, there's always a gap. Just a little dink roll in for the 3. Now, where's the other problem here? Let's have a look at the 6-ball. 6-ball cleanly goes. So, all about cue ball. Now, that's gone a bit too far again. He just overhit it. Now, he could use the 8-ball to brush. In fact, he's fine. He can go right through there. So this is forward and out for the 6. And the problem with this is the angle. Now, that might be perfect because he didn't want to be interfering with the 9-ball. That is absolutely plumb. That's what you want to come down here. Perfect shot. Anything else on that shot, he would have been messing about with the 9-ball and things could have got ugly. Now down below on the left-hand side. I don't believe he wanted to be here, but he's got the pace right again. I mean, you're really, essentially, you're trying to play into an area. Whether you go too far, you're on it up the table, or short, you're on it in the middle. And he got right behind it up table, and the gap is going to go to 2 again. So rack number 11 for Acero to break after 29 minutes. And I think that one was also on the dry side. And Spectredawn has got one of these dodgy cuts. I don't think there's any advantage in potting this because look where the 2 is. I mean, I think you're far better banking this up the table and ducking and diving. You know, try to play it maybe 2 cushions, send it up this way and bring the cue ball down here. Something along those lines and try and get distance because the 2 ball's inaccessible where it's sitting. It's tied up with the 6. No, that's not going in the side. So let's see what he plans to do here. Is he trying to stun up and cut that one to the rail and go up towards the 3 and bump the 3? I think he's not quite made up his mind yet. Well, he's used the 7-ball and he's got the cover. Now, this has got to be judged right because you need that bit of English to get the line to work. And you can't always judge these 100%. And I don't think he's going to get a lucky roll either. Now, this is a thin cut. Now, you've got to play this 100%. Not only the pot, but you've got to get across to bump that 2 and 6. Well, maybe he's going to take his medicine and play the billiard, but he's got to keep the 2 to the rail to go past that 9 if he's doing that. Maybe, has he got the billiard? I don't think he has. I don't think he has. I think he's too, I think if he was there, he was fine, but he's too straight. Yeah, he was too straight. So we're going to get a bit of tippy-tapping for a second or 2 until somebody makes a mistake or somebody decides they're going to play the more aggressive safety. Not quite sure what Acero's looking at. Is he trying to get really down and dirty and try to nick that? Let me have a look at what the line is here. I think he can tweak behind that 9-ball and 3-ball easy enough. You just got to make sure he gets something of the 2-ball. He's very close to missing this. Yeah, he's just caught it, but he caught the 9-ball. Now, 2-ball in off the 6 would be the plan, but even that looks a bit ropey. The 6-ball's a bit too far below the pocket. I don't think that'll work either. And maybe if he just plays it dead weight and skims the edge, it can drop in. No, he didn't even look at it. Now, well, if those 2 balls weren't there, I'd be giving this a smack to bang the 2 in off the 6, off the short rail, but clearly that option isn't on. Now, in the context of the match, Acero's the one with the 2-rack lead. It could be an interesting outcome here at the end of this battle. It could be a chance for Acero to stretch the lead even further. So I think if you're Spectredawn, you've got to think about winning this safety battle here. Well, there's barely an edge of that 2-ball. In fact, it is so thin. Yeah, he's having to try and chip it from the back end, try to ride his luck, but there is a pot on. And looking ahead in the rack, if you look at where the 4-ball is, that 4-ball and 6-ball are going to have to be manufactured into a combo. They're not dead set, but there's enough room to easily make it. But there's also enough room in the short side to get behind the 4, although I don't really think you'd want to play that unless things were shaping up that way and it was easy enough to get there. But I think Acero has left it short. So that's one positional mistake here by Acero. He hasn't got there, trying to play it. And that's not exactly great either. I would have thought that he would have tried to push that forward a bit to the short rail and run for cover, but he's just left it right in line for the pot. So that mistake there, quite a big one from Acero, not getting that gap, because he was the one that had first shout and first opportunity after that safety exchange to take this out. And he's failed there. Likewise for Spectredawn, he's got the gap. I don't believe he wants to be coming down below the 8-ball. I think he wants to just stay in the middle of the table with the right side pocket and play this 6-ball. No, he's coming inside. Well, I think that's one way of erring on the safety, where you take anything like that out of the equation. So he's gone inside the 7 rather than taking the risk of getting into the gap. But maybe it'd have been better going inside the gap, because this is not great. This is in a horrible shape in the 7. Cue balls leaked away far too far. But never a doubt, that was a great shot. Cue ball's tracking. It's still going to be testy, this 8-ball. Well, he's got bionic vision now, since he's had his eyes tested. It's a toughie. And it's too tough this time around. And so Acero is going to be the one who wins out in the end for the 3-rack lead. Well, the match that Acero had with Bedhead, it was all about as and when Acero was going to suddenly come loose at the seams. He had a dodgy period in that match, and he came through it. Now, at the moment, he's the one in the driving seat. But let's see how things unfold. Dead set, bank on the one. Well, he's playing without any fear, and that's the way to do it. This is in between, or is it? No, tell a lie, I forgot about the 4-ball. Talking about in between, is he going to come down? Oh dear, what the hell was that? Was he trying to pinch an angle there? I think he was. He was trying to go around the corner. And as the replay shows, you don't get that quite right. You end up just following it in. And there's a big, big mistake there from Acero. And I think I've jinxed him by talking about whether he was going to come loose in that first match. Well, he's certainly come off the rails there with that shot, because that is a big unforced error. And the 3-rat read isn't going to last long. Welcome to Paul. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever time it is where you are. You are welcome. Yeah, that's a bad one from Acero. And it's allowed Spectredawn to grab onto his coattails here and just keep him within arm's length himself, not letting him get away. But it was self-inflicted damage there. And Spectredawn, the 2-ball is gone. Now this cue ball has got to find the gap after assuming he's going to pot the 1 and get around and out. He's hoping for a roll of the ball here. And I suppose in one way he's got it. I mean, I think that will bank. If he wants to have a go at it, it will bank, but he's trying to use the 5. Now, this could probably, well, is it close enough? It could be kicked in. Certainly, it shouldn't be any issue hitting the 3. Yeah, he got it too full in the face. That's going to come out into the table. And a 3-rack lead can dwindle away very quickly now. 4 balls up in the short rail up top. And let's be honest, that was actually pretty poor as well from Spectredawn. He's left that 1.5 yards short of where he wanted to get to play this 4-ball. And that's not going to be much better, because Acero will have a good look at this 4-9. Well, it's not square enough. I thought that was sitting a bit squarer. But he can certainly use the 9 as a stopper and get this cue ball well up the table here. At least that's what I'd be planning to do. I'd be planning to get round off that 4 down here towards the 5. It's a tough bank, especially with the 8-ball sitting there. Well, he's played the combo, and that was very well worked out, because when we went down and looked at that, you could see it wasn't set properly, and he's worked that out very nicely indeed. And again, that's come down from the poor safety there from Spectredawn. He didn't play that very well. And it's suddenly taken a turn, this match there. I mean, that could have been a huge swing there for Spectredawn, and now it's back to 3. But Acero immediately comes up with a dry break. I'm sure that's a regular phrase in most in most pool halls. What the hell was that? You end up asking yourself the question, not when your opponent's playing. You ask yourself why you did that. Well, acero trying to get out of there and duck for cover. I think he might be okay here because that one ball won't pot. That will not pot where that's sitting. You can't get to it. And the other difficulty here is working out how to get separation between these two balls. You know, this is tricky. But I'll tell you, he's worked that out and played it well. That was very well done by Spectredawn. Again, it's still a big target to hit, though, for acero. Nice gap there to get to it. Oh, he might have fluked to 3. Oh, it hasn't. I thought the 3 was going to drop. Well, there's another tricky shot coming up. Is he trying to duck behind the 6? Yeah. Oh, I don't think he's got there, but he did bump the 6 as he actually left a gap to get to that 1, though. No, he's got the cover. It is a good shot. Now, you never know what could happen here. This 1 could bang the 3 in. But he's caught the edge of the 1. Now, well, this is a bit like what do you call it? A Honolulu shot here, playing the little billiard onto the edge of the 5. Well, he actually just feathered that the near side knuckle of that pocket, and that killed the 1 ball onto the other knuckle. So here we go. Acero. Oh dear. Well, that's come out good. That could have been, again, very ugly very quickly there. But the table is good. Welcome to Interchange X. Good morning. All of these people stateside falling out of their beds just to come and join me. Well, now there'll be a little bit of worry around the cheeks of Spectredawn. Watch this cue ball, though. I might have jinxed this. I think he's fine. He will be a bit concerned. He's lost a couple of little battles there, one way or another. And it's now a 4-rat lead to acero. 3 ball on the right side. 1 ball gets nudged. Little dinky combo into the side. 1 and 2. Or the bank, which he tried. Well, maybe he felt the bank was a lot easier than the actual 1-2 combo. I never went down to look at it, but he sort of come out smelling the roses in the sense he's not really left a pot on. But here's a 3-ball combo here for Spectredawn if he fancies it. This will be a good one. And that looks... He's just got to nudge this. No, he's trying to duck. Well, again, the kick off that opposite rail to hit the 1, anything could happen. I mean, he could catch the 1, catch the 2. The 1 could go straight to the 2. You never know what can happen here. All sorts can happen in this shot. Oh, almost. Oh, is it? I think it is. I think he can he get out of there? That is so tight. I don't think he can get there. That is so tight on the 2. He can't get there. And Spectredawn misses the kick. And again, help yourself, acero, with ball in hand. He's just getting the upper hand here, acero. And more so at the right time for him, because he's already got the 4-rack lead. And a great chance to build on it. Yeah, Stubb was close last night, yeah. But fair play to Matt. Matt held himself together at the right time when it mattered, right at the death. And Matt knows he didn't play great last night. He never found any great consistency for any length of time, but you know, there was the mistakes as well. Stubb actually got himself more under control last night after banging stupid stuff early on. He managed to realise or work out that he's going to have to try and play rather than just belting at balls. He's going to have to try and work things out a bit more. Now that is a good safety. Yes, it's not difficult to hit the 5, but the 5 has to be going to the right side when you're playing it from this left, and the chances of leaving it safe, you've got to get the touch really good here. Yeah, that was very, very tough. So here's the opportunity Spectredawn's been waiting on. But he's also looking ahead at the end of this rack, looking for that follow-up, looking to find a wee bit of rhythm. And I think, as was mentioned, yes, he can get into gear. He can run 2 and 3 racks and get himself back in it. There's no alarm bells ringing, but, you know, the warning signs are there at the moment, and he doesn't want that scoreboard to go anywhere further south as it's looking at the moment. Now, I presume the 7 ball goes straight past the 8. Well, it's tight. Half a pocket. So this is the start, as far as Spectredawn's concerned, of the little comeback to get back into this, just to relieve the stress. Not looking like it, though. Not looking like it. And once again, though, look at this table. Acero's coming to the table. 1 ball down the rail, 2 ball right side, 3 ball right side up top, 4 ball wide open, 5 ball down this end to follow up, 6 ball down this end to follow up. I mean, it's just about joining the dots, isn't it? It all looks so easy, but this is where you can do something stupid. You've just still got to get the right lines here. Yeah, you know, that shot there, he had to try and flatten the angle there just to make it comfortable to drop the 5 in and stay there nicely for the 6. So this is all good. But Spectredawn's wish was nowhere near granted there. He wanted not only the rack, he wanted to follow up, didn't get it, and now it's back to square one, trailing before. And now the difference is Acero's in those double figures. And I think the 7 ball went top left. Cue ball's wide open, 1 ball's wide open, 2 and 3 are very handy this end of the table. And up for the 4 ball in the gap between the 6 and 8. It's all laid out. It's all mapped out for him. This is the one you've got to control. You get into that spot. Don't mess with the 5. And he's bumped it. I don't think he's hampered. Now, is it coming down below the 5 or leaving it long? He's leaving it long. Acero's looking at minimal amount of moving the cue ball if he can help it. Or unnecessary movement of the cue ball. I think that's a better way of describing it, because if there's an easier way of getting there, then that's the one to go for. Without all the acrobatics. Well, yes, there's been the odd mistake, but Acero's looking solid. And again, he's ticked all the boxes as far as, when a table's there for the running, you're only ever going to be in contention for this tournament when the table is there for the run out and you do it. And you're doing it on a regular basis. And that's exactly what Acero's doing. I can't remember where he's failed with an opportunity to run the table to get out and he's not done it. Somebody will remind me if there was. Yes, he missed a combo, but I'm talking about a table that's wide open where you're not even having to play combos. I think he's been successful in all counts as far as I remember. But Spectredawn trying to profit from yet another dry break, though. But now the pressure's mounting up a bit now in Spectredawn, no doubt about it. And this shot here, from the 3 to the 4, is the one that's going to make or break this rack. Now, the 4 ball does go. There's not a problem with the 4 ball going. It's about checking this cue ball up maybe a wee bit, or, looking at the angle, does you want to let this run? See, if you let this run open, you could go in the side or catch the knuckle. Yeah, I think you might have to check this up a wee bit. I'm not quite convinced. Well, he's going wider. Well, I don't know whether Spectredawn sort of chickened out a wee bit there, but this is dodgy enough. Maybe he was well scared of the 6 ball, or what I was talking about was too risky, but this is not ideal. Yes, it will cut. And yes, if he keeps the cue ball in the table, he's bound to have a shot in the 5. And it's gone in, but where's the cue ball going? He's just borderline. He's okay. Well, all things going according to plan there. He didn't take the risk. Quite confident in his own ability to get himself out with that dodgy cut along the rail past that 9. Well, anything but landed in top of the 8 ball. You've got to decide where you're going, what side of the table. But anywhere but on top of the 8, and that's perfect, as long as it doesn't go too straight. And that will do nicely. A vital rack here for Spectredawn. Now, didn't get the follow up the last time. How's his luck this time around? Trailing before. 11-7 down. 5 ball has gone. 1 ball is in play, but it's a cut. It is a dodgy cut. Very dodgy cut. I mean, it's 6.5 a dozen of the other, isn't it? Looking it into the corner or cutting it back into the side, but the cue ball is running loose big time. This could clatter the 4 ball. It could scratch off the 4 doing that. He looks as if he's going into the corner or he's contemplating that. But it's ugly when you're looking at that shot into the side because you've got to try and take evasive manoeuvres, I think. So he's trying to just roll it dead weight into the corner, and that is very well done. Now, this is the one. Well, there's 2 shots here. First of all, he's got to get up to the 3 and then get back to the 4. Has it got the legs? It's just got the legs. Avoids the 6, and that's it. Excellent. Welcome to Cobra. Well, it's been a solid performance from Acero so far. This is, however, Spectredawn looking for the follow-up to the last rack that he's just won, and it looks as if he's going to get it. So he's making a quick 2 racks here. But he'll still be trailing by 3. Welcome to Vladimir. I haven't seen that name in the stream before, or at least I haven't for a while. If you have been online for a while, but everybody's welcome. Everybody except Stubb. So Spectredawn looking for 3 in a row here. 6 ball and 3 ball into the right side. That cue ball's tucking away, is it? No, it's just nudged. Just nudged the 4. And the 1 cuts. Well, at worst, they could have a 2-5 combo into the side that you'd have to manufacture. In fact, the 2 ball cuts back into the side. What am I talking about? Trying to get into the gap to play it up top, and he's just overcooked it a bit. Now, is that 9 ball in the path of the cue ball here with this cut angle? Is he going to try and run to the 9 and just hold for the 4 and play a dodgy long 4 ball? Or is he going to try to get a lot better on the 4 ball? Because I'm looking at the line off the 2 with the cue ball. It looks as if it wants to go towards the 9. He's going the other side. I think that's what worried him. Ended up. Well, I think either way you cut that, they weren't easy. They were not easy cuts. But Acero has the chance to redress the balance here and nick 1 back from that missed pot there from Spectredawn. Watch the cue ball. And I'm going to keep reminding people from here on in, everybody that's watching, just take a second to tab out and hit the like button. See if that will help with the YouTube algorithm. Just 1 quick tap. Well, now Spectredawn's got his fingers crossed that things don't go well for Acero in the break here. Well, a 2 ball into the side. There's a gap to get to the 1. There's also the possibility of the combo. It's a good line for the combo. I don't think he'll turn this down. Got to go at this, because all you're doing is potting the 1 ball in the centre of the pocket and ignoring the 3. And the 1 ball stays there. And, well, there's not a lot you can do in billiard games when you're not at the table. It's a very soul-destroying situation that you're in, where you're not playing badly. You know, Spectredawn's not played bad. He's in fact far from it. It's the fact that, you know, the little odds and ends in racks make huge differences in the scoreboard at the end of the day. But the one thing about acero is he's not really blinked yet, and he's not threatening to do so either. Now, what's he doing here? Is he overthinking this a bit too much? Because it's a thin cut in the 4. The cue ball is running loose, but he's got the one thing he's got to hope is that he doesn't bump anything here going up and down. He wants to come up and down here clean so he can get to the 5, or he wants to stay this end and get to the 5. He's got to make that choice. Now, that's the thing. He's got to miss the bump, and commentators, he's missed him clean, and he's got the pot in the 5. That was the only concern there. And now the concern is the 7 ball, because that bugs you. But again, he's controlled the pace perfect. Yep, he is not. I mean, I don't know whether that win against Bedhead in that final rack has boosted his confidence, because I've always said acero's he's never produced the goods for any period of time in these 9-ball World Championships. Not that I can remember. He's always been a letdown. But I must say that the other thing about, you know, having won that virtual World Championship as well last year, the straight pool one, I don't know whether that's all contributed to the fact that he's realised, listen, I'm a pretty good player, and I can beat these guys on the day. And he's now sitting with a 5-rack lead. And he's also got the break working again. Now, is this 1 ball going to be in play? Yes, it is. Now, this is a case of across the table twice, back into the table for the 2, by the look of this, because you're not going to pot it up past the 4 and 9. They're blockers, and that's perfect. Now, he wants to be on this 4 ball in such a way that he's coming out of there clean also to get across for the 5. It's not quite just boom, boom, boom. You've just got to get the angle on this 4 so you're been able to get out of there clean. And he can. Yeah, he's just trying to nip it. He nipped a wee bit of angle off that just to make the line to come down below that centre pocket. And that's perfect. Yeah, I think that's a good point that you've made there, Vince, says, in truth. And that is something I overlooked. The fact that I think in the past, acero has played matches at silly hours of the morning, probably his time. And that doesn't do well when you're half asleep trying to play any sort of game. And I think the other thing is he's also been maybe a bit fortunate that the proposals that he sent, at least the guys over here, have had the decency to accept them, because obviously they've suited them. It's always been like the middle of the afternoon, my time, because we know that that's late in the evening acero's time, which is more suitable for him, especially if he's out working all day. So he's had maybe a nice roll of the ball as far as the schedules have gone for him. And that's very difficult to work in to, you know, these tournaments when you're in far-flung places. Spectredawn got the edge of the one, and he's flicked to two into the side. Now that's a little run of the ball that you need. Just skimmed the one, brushed the two, in goes the two into the side. And, well, he's going to have to cheat the pocket in the one, I think. Yep, he's going to have to just miss that four ball as tight as he can and use the rail, and he's done that. But, of course, this is no good. He was hoping to drop below that three ball for some sort of shot where he could maybe just block acero behind that nine. Well, it's now a 6-rack lead for acero. And Spectredawn, well, is he looking at this cut into the side? This is dodgy enough as it is, but, you know, he who dares wins. You've just got to go for it. And that's very well played. You know, when you're backed into a corner, there's only one way out of a corner. That's going forward. But as I said, I mean, Spectredawn has nowhere near played bad. He's pretty much potted everything he's been able to see. You'll always credit, you'll always say that, well, there's been a couple of mistakes either way, and that's about it. Very difficult to be critical about Spectredawn. Couple of dodgy, maybe slightly dodgy safety shots that didn't work out for him, and that's the other thing. The most important thing is that acero capitalised on them. I think he's just gone the right side of this 8 ball. That's fine. Well, the psychological part of this is Spectredawn getting to double figures. If he can get there before acero gets to 15, then it'll look a wee bit better to him. He needs to hit a run of racks here, though. He really does. This is the time to make the move to get yourself right back in it. There's that pattern of the 3 balls, but the break has been good. Couple of balls have gone, but the 2 ball is actually dead in the water. I think that's frozen to the rail. Not quite. And now, again, this. See, Spectredawn is asking for trouble here because he's played the shot that's guaranteed him that he's not leaving anything really on for acero in the way of potting something. But what he's doing is he's getting himself into this safety battle here. And the problem with the safety battles is one reason also where he's behind. He's not necessarily won them all, but he's going to win them with that one because that's not went well for acero. Now we need to then look at these balls here and see how this 8 ball's line. Well, there looks like more of a gap, and that 8 goes into the side. 2 up top. And I'm going to say the 8 ball doesn't go in the corner. So this is by no means on the board here for Spectredawn. It's far from it, the way these are sitting. Well, you know, the tip-tapping safety, fortunately for Spectredawn, acero made the mistake. But to me, the tip-tapping safety is something you want to get out of that as quick as you can. I'm always looking to get length on a cue ball away from the object ball. I would never be wanting to be tip-tapping 3 and 4 times, 5 and 6 times against the rail. You've got to try and come up with. You've got to be brave. If there's a couple of balls somewhere to try and hide, you've got to be brave and try and get there. If you end up losing the rack doing it, then fine, you'll accept that because you don't want to be sitting for 20 minutes just tapping at a ball against the rail. Now here we go with the shot. that can get him on the 8 ball into that side pocket. He's perfect. Good out here for Spectre if he can get the job done. I'm going to have to take my top off here. I'm boiling because I've got the door shut. That's better. I'm a bit cooler now. Right, here we go. Double figures it is for Spectredawn. Still sticking to the game plan. He's lining up with that pillar there, the edge of that grey pillar. And a ball into the side, a ball into the bottom corner. A thin cut in the 1. No, tell a lie, that's the 9 ball. 1 ball's gone in the break. I keep confusing the 1 and the 9 ball. Well, likewise, he's still got a bed. This is bedhead territory, this cut in the 2. Right in the heart of the pocket. Bumps the 8. Oh, that might have landed plumb into the side pocket here. Well, not far off it, and he can dig in just to hold for the 4. It's a little nip. It's one of these little nippy, jabby cuts into the side just to hold the cue ball and leave yourself a shot. Now, I mean, does he want to let this run loose, or does he want to play the right shot to hold it? Maybe there's too much angle for his comfort here. You know, is he going to start running this off rails to come out and leave a cut again in the 4? At the moment, I can't quite work out what he's doing. Is he going up top now? He looks as if he's going up top. Well, you want to make up your mind pretty rapidly here because you're running out of time. And he's eventually played the shot I spoke about all along. That's perfect. You know, just grow a pair and play it. That's what it's all about. You're in no position to and ah. You've got an opportunity to get out. You've got to just get, you know, I'm all for saying the same thing. You've got to play the right shot. You know the shot you should be playing, and that's the one you play. He hung about and hung about and hung about and eventually said, right, that's the one. And it's all come good. He doesn't want to get any closer to this 8 ball, though. Well, now, another critical break coming up. As far as this match is concerned, as far as Spectredawn's prospects for surviving on the winner's side. But the shoe's on the other foot for the time being. Nothing acero can do. He just has to be patient. But the pressure will be on him, even though he's still got the lead. Is how, you know, this is what happens with these kind of matches. The pressure eventually ends up going back onto the guy that's leading as and when he gets that opportunity, because he's maybe been frozen out for 2 or 3 racks. And suddenly the question's asked to him, well, here's a table. You know, you've got a chance. You've got the lead. Are you still good enough to take the table out? Well, he's not going to get that in this rack at the moment because, again, Spectredawn's got balls in the break. The table is sitting perfect. And this is him hitting the ground now. He's got the momentum going for a couple of racks in a row and looking to keep it going. Is that Botrick's chat bot annoying? Right, well, that's it. That's it. Definitely staying in. It's definitely staying. Oh, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. I think he's okay. That could have been nasty. Now it does get interesting. Oh, Steve went into the room. Didn't I even notice? When did he come in? Well, the bloody time alert things here just in a second or two ago. Well, there's only going to be 2 in it. And now there's a whole different thing about this game now. This is what I'm saying. That scenario could very well take place here. Acero's sitting here, not at a shot for 3 racks pretty much, and he's going to probably get a chance. And then that'll test his bottle. 1 ball didn't go into the side. 5 ball bottom left corner. Cut shot on into the side for the 1. And he's going to bump the 3. Now, he's got to bump this hard enough, because if he doesn't, he'll hook himself behind the 9. He's got to get some sort of hit that affords the cue ball to come through and have a shot in the 2. It can go ugly very quickly here. He can't dibby-dab this. He's got to get the cue ball out. In fact, it might be that ugly. He might think, will I take that risk? Well, the cue ball has gone out, and he is on the 2. That's exactly what I was talking about. Exactly what I was talking about. He had to make sure that cue ball went through. And I mean, it's come off the back end of the 3 there, gone to the rail, and he's perfect. It was dicey, because you could never predict 100% that was how it was going to go, but that all went according to plan. Gary P says, when playing VP4, does it even do kicks and miscues? No, it doesn't do kicks, but it does do miscues. But the one thing you should also know is that the actual balls in the game have varying levels of dirtiness. If you zoom in on them, you'll see that they're not perfectly clean. There's a certain level of wear and tear on them. Well, Spectredawn is on a roll here. Somebody will be counting up how many this is. I'm thinking this is coming up to 4 in a row at least. Exactly when he needed them. You know, if you're going to come good, you do it at the right time. And at the moment, it's all falling into place here for Spectredawn. Cue ball needs to keep going. Well, there's a little bit of dodginess over this one. Quick look at the angle. Down and play the shot. And he's now back to within 1. And it is definitely 100% game on, folks. In fact, I should actually have said about. I think there's a language barrier there, and it could be my bad from what Gary said. When he says, "Does it even do kicks?" My mind was thinking in snooker, and like a bad connection between the 2 balls. You know, kicking to a rail or kicking at a ball. Yes, it does. Yes, you can do that. But in terms of bad contacts between 2 balls, no, you don't have that. Oh, look who's arrived in the room, for goodness sake. Who woke him up? Well, meanwhile, Spectredawn got the cut in the 1 as he's left the 2 in play. Bad contacts. No, you don't get those, Gary. And Super Admin has muted Stub. Where were you last night when you should have muted him? Well, we all know, because we've seen him do it often enough in Friday Night 9 Ball, although obviously that's over a much shorter distance, but we all know that Spectredawn can do it. It's doing it when it matters, though. And it mattered today. He hasn't won the match yet, but he's going to have a good chance at it because he's going to be back all square after being 6 down at one stage. And if you're going to be a champion, you've got to prove your worth. Others have done it. Spectredawn's been capable of it. And there's none better to help the cause by getting yourself dug out a hole. And it wasn't really a self-inflicted damage. It was good work from Acero that got him the lead. Spectredawn's probably just going for a bathroom break, which will give him a chance. He'll have to refocus. 14 apiece. Race to 5 to get to round 4. Well, it was 14-8. You're right enough. He was 6 behind. Yeah, it's been a good roll for Spectredawn, and no doubt that that's set him in a good state of mind to get this match completed. But, and I say but advisedly, there can be all sorts of twists and turns in 5 racks. We've seen that happen all too often. Yeah, I do, and I do it just to annoy people as well, the same as I'm keeping Botrix. If I can annoy the Swedes in this world, then I'm quite happy to do it. You know, Bedhead let the cat out of the bag by saying the Botrix mod thing is annoying him, so that's staying in, and also the sniff is staying in. Right, well, we're waiting on the return of Spectredawn. Well, I don't remember either. I'm glad you said that, Bedhead, because I haven't a clue what his last shot was. Well, we're all waiting for the climax to this match. It's been on for an hour and 25 minutes. And nobody knows what's going to happen. But the guy in the driving seat right now is Spectredawn. He's got the roll going. He's got all the momentum going. And now he's back and he says, ready. And Acero says, yes, and off we go. Into rack number 29. Sticking with the same game plan all the way through the match. I don't remember that. 4 ball into the right side. Cue ball comes around the corner and the 1 ball's in the open, but look at where the 2 ball has just finished. Was it the 4 ball that went into the right side? It was the 4 ball. I thought it was maybe the 2. But I think, you see, this is where you, again, you know the shot you want to play. You want to jack up and play the stun and hold the cue ball and get through the gap onto that too. That's what he knows he has to do. And it was so difficult. I mean, that was a very, very difficult shot to execute. But he had the right idea. Actually, he kind of, I don't know whether he was just desperate to get the shot over with, because he's well, he did end up on the 2, but the cue ball sort of got away on him a bit. So Acero, now this is the scenario I mentioned earlier. Acero's now at the table. He saw Spectredawn get back into it, and now he has this chance. Now, how's his nerve? He's got himself 2 straight in this too, I think. So he's just rolling through. He's all good. Is his nerve going to show here? Is he going to keep it together And again, get out on a table that he should be getting out on every day of the week. That's very well done. That was a confident enough shot. Drawn it to the rail, back out for plumb position in the 6. Well, I don't see any sort of after effects on acero at the moment. He's not blinking. And, Spectredawn's done all he can to get back into it. So now it's squeaky bum time, folks. Doesn't care. It doesn't matter who it is, how good you played it. It's squeaky bum time either way. All sorts of little voices in your head when you're at the table now with a dodgy shot facing you. The psychological battle begins. And the battle is with yourself half the time anyway. But acero has the advantage. One ball tried to go into the side, and I don't think anything else is trying to go in. It looks dry. But is he getting cover? Let's have a look. Well, he's on the 1. The 2 balls there. The 3 balls middle of the table. 4 balls up top. 5's down here. Pot the 5 up for the 6. The 7's a bit dodgy. The 7's the real sort of question mark over getting out on this rack. Now, if you're on such an angle on the 6, you could maybe bump the 9 out of the way and hold the cue ball there for the 7 into the same corner pocket up top. I mean, that's all the theory that's going through your head at the time on how you might finish in this 6 ball. But what you can't do is leave yourself short in the 6. Not if you can help it. You want to get up into the table. But if you have that sort of angle, you would definitely want to try and bump the 9 out of the way. And now he's gone too far the other way. Now what does he do? Does he just try and spin this in with loads of left English and play it down behind the back of the 9? No, he's trying to get into the gap. It's tight. I think he's okay as far as the pot goes. He can just squeeze it in, but he's got to get the cue ball out. And he's got the cue ball out. You can see the 8. So acero had that slender lead. It might not be lasting long. And this is what Spectredawn wants. He wants the control of the table and the break to head for the finishing line. He wants a second burst here to take the match away from acero. So now lining up with the grey pillar, the edge of it. Oh, he's decided to change things up now, has he? Ah, well, that's a novelty. He's changed it up. He'll probably be changing it back because I think he's dry, and this 1 ball I think is plumb. You notice there, maybe has he changed his breaks up for the last few racks because he's been lining up with the grey pillar, the edge of the grey pillar to the cream door. And now that I went round to check it, he suddenly wasn't. And he's come up dry. Well, you've got to stay below the 8, whatever you do here. You can't put too much juice in the cue ball. This cue ball could just run away. And he's trying to drag it off. Now he needs a bump. Oh, I think that's been played very well. Very sweet little shot there by acero. All the room in the world to go on the 3 into the side. Well, he's going the other way, checking it back up top. This means you've got to just dig in to hold the cue ball a wee bit, and you end up playing one of these stuns that are scary in this game, because you just get it offline and you're dead in the water hitting a knuckle, but he's played it well. Nap Nicker's the man. Get him shut up before he starts. That's Stubb dealt with. Well, I'll say it again. No sign of any blinking here from Acero. I still wouldn't want to go that far down in this 8-ball for comfort. I'd much rather be staring down the barrel in this 8-ball, but never a doubt. He's going way up top side. So now Acero looking to open the gap at the right time, leading by 1. And balls have gone in. How's the table? Well, the 1 ball's not going to be great. It is not going to be great. Now, again, you've got to duck for cover, haven't you? I mean, what's he trying to manufacture here? Is he trying to cut this into the side? What's easier to play here, a safety or a cut, a very dodgy cut into a side pocket, or, well, the bank isn't on. There's virtually no room for the bank, I don't think. I'm not sure what he's doing here, to be honest with you. I don't think he's got that much certainty either. He's looking and looking and looking. Yeah, I mean, you've got to try and use these line of balls for some sort of cover. It's all just about the touch. He looks as if he's coming off the right side and trying to cut this back towards the short rail. Well, that's not going to work out. No, I think I would have come up with something better than that. I think I would have went the other way. I think the cue ball should have been here and the 1 ball up table. Well, that's a very thin cut. And he's got a nudge in the 7. Oh, he's nudging the 9. And now it's a bank onto the 9 every day of the week. There's no way he can refuse this. He's got to play the bank. You can't be playing the pot. You've got to play the bank, surely. Is he going to cut this into the top right, or is he going to play? I mean, it's a big target to hit the 9. I can't believe if he doesn't play the bank. Oh, that's a terrible bank. Oh, my God. I mean, I would have played that a lot better. He's scratched in the top corner pocket. Oh, that could be the fatal mistake. That could be the fatal one. He got that all wrong. That didn't look a difficult bank to me. I mean, the target was huge to even just... You were guaranteed you were going to hit the 9 pretty much, but he totally misjudged it. But Acero... Well, if you say, you know, at what point did somebody blink? Well, there might be the blink there also, because that's a terrible shot from Acero. He should never have been running into the 8-ball. He should never have been there. And now Squeaky Bum is definitely playing its part in this. And like I said, all the little voices are working in each player's head here on shots. You can't avoid it. You know, it's very difficult to play and not listen to the little voices in your head, because they do chip away at you. But the one important thing is Acero's 2 in front. And again, balls into the left and right side pocket. 4 ball into the bottom corner. But the cue ball's gone as well. And now another twist. Now, how's Spectredawn's nerve? Because again, it's the most obvious thing we see. The table is there. They're all available. It's all about the cue ball again. and he should be out. Well, you just, I don't think you really want to be on the rail on many shots in puller billiards, because it just limits what you can do with the cue ball. You just rather be, hand in the table and playing the shot. In this case, no hands in VP4, but you know what I mean. You just don't want to be on rails. You want to avoid them at all costs. But Spectredawn will be breaking to tie it up again. So all breaks are important now, none more than this next one. Now he's just got to nip this again. Now, I wonder if he'll keep that break or whether he'll get back to what he was doing. He's back to, oh no, he isn't. He's back up to the line. Didn't work the last time. Let's see what happens this time. It's bone dry. Oh no, the 5 balls dropped in. 1 ball's hanging over the side. I thought there was nothing going there. 2 balls wide open. 3 ball goes down the rail. And then, can you get access to the 4? Yes, you can. Good morning to Hairpig. I never noticed you there. I'm too busy trying to concentrate. As is Spectredawn and Acero. Well, don't forget, Acero had that 6-rack lead. But it was all down to Spectredawn getting in and getting on a roll that got him back into this match. Where's the cue ball going? There is a howler of a mistake there. Goodness me. I told you anything can happen at this stage. We've all seen it before, but look at that for a mistake. Good God. Oh, he's bound to have just slapped himself about the head there. That is a howler there, that one. Well, what does Acero do? Does he nail him, or does he try and run out? I mean, yes, he's got an easy safety, but he's got to try and get out of there, and he has done. Nice little touch with the draw. Well, that could be Spectredawn's last shot that we've just witnessed, that scratch, because unless there's a complete disaster here or an earthquake in Japan or something, a tsunami or something, I don't know, but I can't see Acero not getting out. Well, never a truer statement said there, Hairpig. Of course, the run-out's the best safety in the world. Now, here he's back in, and he's back in this other profile, and he's typing bullshit just at the time when the guys are trying to concentrate. And Acero's break on the hill, something I think has gone in. I didn't quite catch it because I was looking at the chat. And he's got a cut in the 1. The 4 ball has gone in the break. He's got a cut in the 1. Cue ball coming around for the 2 into the top left-hand corner. Doesn't want to run too far. He doesn't want to be in between, and he's sort of in between here again. Well, if he's going to play this into the corner up there, he's got to be careful with the cue ball. Playing it dead weight. He's got room past the 6, but how many times do I tell you this 6 ball doubles in size in a blind pocket cut? But never a doubt, he just got down and shot it. Well, it's a long road back for Spectredawn, but that's the one major self-inflicted damage that he's done in the match. That's the one notable one. And what's more notable about it is he's done it at the wrong time. There's never a good time to do something like that, but that was the wrong time. Right down in the wire. How good is this? This is no good. Oh, this is dodgy again. And especially where the 8 ball is hampered by the 9. He might live again here, Spectredawn. Or is acero going to pull out all the stops? Because this is dodgy and a half. It might be 2 banks to get out here. It might be 2 banks. He's nailed the first one. He's going to have to cross-bank this one. This ain't going. He's going to have to cross-bank it into that and avoid the double kiss. And around and into the table. And he hasn't. He's squared it up. And Spectredawn does live again. Now, he's got to just come here and bank this into this corner here. There's no thinking about it. You've got to go for it. You're dead and buried if you don't. It's all or nothing. He's going the other way, but he's got to go either way and make his mind up. But he's trying to get cute. He's trying to get cute and keep it safe, and it's not a bad effort. But the problem is that 8 ball's off the rail, and acero's going to nip this in. He's got to watch the scratch, though. Yeah, and I think if there was ever a blink there by Spectredawn, it was trying to keep the safety, and it was so tough to do. And when he should have, again, like I say, grow a pair and go for the bank. I mean, this is no easy either for acero. But this for the match. Oh, he's nailed it. It's in every day of the week. That's perfect. Well, I talked about who was going to blink. And in the end, it was Spectredawn. We never seen any evidence of acero dropping out of this match. All that work that Spectredawn did to get back in it got him there. Acero didn't do anything majorly wrong other than miss a safety or a pot or whatever it was. But all the way through this match, acero's been very, very strong. And, I mean, he's built on the result that he had in his last round and held his nerve when it mattered. I mean, he just got down and cut that 8 ball without any thinking or umming and ahhing or looking. And I think the Spectredawn should have just decided, listen, I am down and out here. It was, he had to play the aggressive shot rather than trying to keep it safe with only the 2 balls on the table. He had to go for the bank, and he didn't. And he didn't get the safe enough. And acero just went down and slotted it in. And a great win for acero. I think that's the best I've seen him play in any of these tournaments. Definitely the best he's played. So now he's through to round 4. He was very solid all the way through that match, and he now plays Matt. And that's going to be a great match between them two. But I'll tell you something, Matt's going to have to tidy up his act a bit from last night. He was solid enough in the pots, but he kept Stubb in the match for far too long last night, and he knows that he can't be down at that level against acero the way acero's going. He's going to be tested either way. But the other thing about acero is he going to be good enough to just sustain a level of play that's going to keep him being very dangerous? There's always that doubt with acero, but he's been very solid so far. So very well done to him. That's the top half of the draw. Bottom half of the draw, we have Albinario waiting on a victim. And it's either going to be One Pocket Slim or Coldest Pillow. So that's going to be a good match over the weekend. And every match now is good. Even on the one-loss side, you're going to have good matches coming up. You've got Bedhead and LS3 lined up there. You've got Larry and Demon as well. Bill lying in wait on the winner of that match. So there's loads of great matches to see here now. And you've got Stubb sitting there waiting on the winner of Cobra and Brainful Out. Now, assuming that goes according to plan, and with the greatest respect to Brainful Out, if Cobra comes through that, one message I had from Stubb this morning said he ain't going to play Cobra because Cobra didn't play the final of the 9 ball. Well, in actual fact, remember, Stubb was forfeited in that because he was pissing Cobra about. And now he said he is going to play Cobra. We'll see what happens. But either way, they're all good matches, but none better than that one we've just seen this afternoon. I hope you enjoyed it, folks. And anybody that missed it, they can all catch up with it on the playlist for the channel or for this tournament. It's all up there on YouTube. So the remaining matches that are scheduled are the one with Cobra and Brainful Out tomorrow night at 7. That suits me perfect. I'm back to work on Friday morning. You've got Larry and Demon on Saturday night at 6 p.m. And you've got Slim doing his match on Sunday with Coldest Pillow. That's it, folks. I'm off for a lie down and a coffee. And thank you for your company. Remember, hit the like button. And we'll see you again very soon, probably tomorrow. Take care.